Welcome. I'm Richard Hosnett. I'm your host for this in-depth wisdom series. My goal is to help you live a wisdom-inspired life by sharing with you some profound and deep wisdom that can truly better your life and help you live a wisdom-inspired life. The source of all the wisdom in this series comes from Paramahansa Yogananda, a God-realized enlightened avatar who founded the Self-Realization Fellowship and left us with a wealth of wisdom in books and teachings. Check him out on the Self-Realization Fellowship. Having said that, in these series, I'd share with you not only the profound wisdom, simple profound wisdom, and by that I mean it can really, really make a positive difference in your life. But I go beyond just sharing it with you by sharing the benefits of that wisdom and how you can develop more of this wisdom attribute in your life. In this particular episode, I share with you more profound wisdom. And by that I mean, by the word profound, I mean, if you were to fully live this piece of wisdom that I'm going to share with you in just a moment, it would make a very positive difference in your life. You'd be on your way to starting to live more of a wisdom-inspired life. So here's the piece of wisdom from Paramahansa Yogananda. Read a little, meditate more, think of God all the time. So let me give you some thoughts on each of those pieces. Read a little. My recommendation is that you read from the highest possible sources, and that is a God-realized enlightened avatar like Paramahansa Yogananda. And the writings I read every day are his great illumination on the Bhagavad Gita, a book titled God Talks with Arjuna, and his great illumination on the Christian Bible titled The Second Coming of Christ. And he has many, many, many more books. You can go on the Self-Realization Fellowship website and find a tremendous number of books there that are available to you. I read the book on the Bhagavad Gita and the Christian Bible every single day. And when I finish reading the book, I go back and start it over again. And it takes me about 2.5 years because I read just 2 or 3 pages at a time to do that. But it's something I've done for decades and I will do for the rest of my life. It is that powerful. The other person that I would suggest for your consideration is His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He is a very spiritually advanced being. He has some great writings. He has a YouTube channel, lots of that you can listen to there. And right below the level of Dalai Lama is a Rinpoche. And I studied personally with Sogyal Rinpoche, and so I recommend his videos on YouTube and the book that he has written. So those are the writings that I would suggest. Again, read from very high-level sources. Meditate more. Well, depends where you are in your meditation practice. If you're just starting out, I generally recommend meditating for 10 to 15 minutes a day. I won't go into the details of how to meditate. Again, if you're really interested in meditating with the best possible practices, I suggest you go to the Self-Realization Fellowship and get their lessons because they have absolutely the most powerful form of meditation practices. If you start with 10 to 15 minutes, after 6 months to 3 years, consider bumping it up to 15 to 30 minutes a day. And then after that, you can do about the same length, but 1 or 2 times a day, with 1 day a week being 45 to 60 minutes. Okay? So there's flexibility in here, but progressively build the amount of quantity of time, but more important, much more important than the quantity of time. The quantity of time is the quality of time. Okay? So let's talk about the third part, which is thinking about God all the time. Here are some suggestions about how you can go about doing that. First is by cultivating higher levels of awareness, being present. We've talked about that in an early episode. Mindfulness, being in the moment, expressing gratitude, and reflecting on the blessings that you have in life. This is all very rich and powerful reaffirmations for you. Next is study religious texts. I've given you a couple of examples, but higher level works are going to help you far more. And again, I've studied a wide range. You should see all the books in my libraries, plural. And I strongly recommend Yogananda's works. The third thing is prayer and meditation. We talked a little bit about meditation. Prayer is another important aspect of being able to think about God all of the time. Prayer is a very important part of what I do every day. Surround yourself with some reminders. Consider that. Having books in a special place, meditating in the same place all the time, and maybe having books or whatever it is that kind of makes it a bit of a sacred place for you, that you can do symbols and objectives and objects like that. Next is practice gratitude. Practice gratitude is good for just a whole bunch of stuff. It's appreciating what you've got in your life. Next is engaging in acts of service. And that's become a very, very important part of my life. It first really started a few decades ago when I was very successful in business and decided to become a servant leader. You can research that, and there's lots of very good stuff about that, but that's essentially serving the people that work for you. Next is engaging in things of practicing compassion, kindness, and empathy, connecting, feeling, being one with others. Next is seeking out a spiritual community that's right for you. There's no universal prescription for how you do that, but like-minded individuals who have similar objectives on the one hand and have a similar amount of development and practice that they're doing. Now, having said all that, thinking of God all the time and reading and meditating is all very much a personal journey, and it varies by each individual. Be patient with yourself. Maintain an open heart and allow your relationship with God to unfold naturally. Okay? So, read a little, meditate more, think of God all the time. Nice, short, powerful, profound piece of wisdom from Paramahansa Yogananda. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. I look forward to reconnecting with you soon.